Oh, hello everyone. I'm Henrik. Welcome to my channel if you haven't been here before, and welcome back to you who have returned. I have with me today a friend, Simo. We have been friends for 20 years, over 20 years.
Yes.
Yes, a dear old friend. Uh, he is an artist and musician. Would you like to add something to that?
That's plenty.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, so yeah, over the years, we have been doing a lot of work together on ourselves, on each other, and with nature and so on. We have done a lot of tours, and that has been an exciting journey, actually. And so last time that I was here, I did something. Simo reminded me today that I saw something behind his back. I could see his joy was kind of behind him, not within him. I don't know. Would you like to continue?
Yeah, it was like you. It was like a creature, like a body, joy body
A
behind
joy
me.
body.
Yeah, which I had sensed for some time, but I didn't want to integrate it. And you saw it, and I was so
So
that's very
you were actually aware of it when I
yes,
saw it. Okay, yeah,
yes, and that was as it quite often is when we work together. That
yeah,
we have sensed it before, and then we sort of pinpoint it.
yeah.
And so it becomes a very natural
Yeah.
flow in it.
And so what happened after that when
Yes, well, first I didn't want to bring it in. It has been on my side for a reason, and that is because if you just integrate your joyful body, then you become happy and stupid.
that's your thought
Yes,
about it, or
and
your
it's true.
is it true? You
You
just
become
become
happy
happy.
and stupid.
Okay.
Well, that was my fear in a way. So
Yeah.
So later that night, I actually then took the step and let that joy body just take me in, or I took it on. That's
Yeah.
how it felt, like a coat,
Yeah.
and I just dissolved into it, or that into me, and that's the kind of things I'm quite able to do when I'm doing work with you, Henrik, because I've become braver.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
help each other.
Yeah.
When you're two or more, more things can happen with you.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody else can do a bit of grounding and hold the space.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
so yeah,
Yeah.
I've been avoiding that step. So I just did it that night, and that was like 3 weeks ago, I think. And in a way, my fears came true. I became less of what I used to be. My normal me is somebody who uh, has some defense mechanisms on all the time. For instance, when I work where I work, um, I can be cautious about my boundaries, and to make sure that my boundaries are intact, I can become a little bit. I can put up my defenses.
Yeah. So you thought that if you were happy,
Yeah,
then your boundaries wouldn't hold.
exactly. Exactly. I would just lose them and be stupid, and then lose a lot of ground. And yeah, somebody would just
Yeah.
drive over me.
Yeah.
I would be that happy roadkill.
Yeah. Okay, so you said to me earlier this is kind of new, so you haven't had any real experience about what really would be the effect of you embracing this joy body,
Yeah.
as you call it.
Yeah.
So has anything happened that you can tell us?
Well, what I can tell is that I don't go, I don't go into my headspace as often anymore. I'm sort of, it's easier to stay in the heart, and it's easier to just uh, be a bit happier actually. Uh, I sort of I respond to people with my joyful side, even if they maybe has said something a bit nasty to me. I'm quite polite usually, but I can have a tone that makes everybody understand that I've been treated badly.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that tone has gone away. I'm just being kind all the time, basically, and that's odd.
And you feel that you can keep your boundaries anyway, or are you still
Well,
trying to find out?
so far it's been good,
Hmm?
and but I haven't been afraid of losing the boundaries either. I haven't even thought about it.
Mm.
The first time I thought about it was when I told you today that actually it's been quite nice to have this joy body,
Yeah.
and I haven't been reflecting on the fear of being treated badly or what will happen. I just like when I go to bed, I think about sometimes some days I think that another day has passed and nothing bad has happened, even if I have just been quite open and open-hearted with people.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So far you could say being happy might even actually keep your boundaries and might keep you not having to think about it.
Yes, I hope that it will be
Yeah, I think
my
so.
experience.
Because I think it's
Yeah.
like a frequency that you carry. You
Yeah.
carry a frequency of happiness or joy, and that in itself is, I mean, it's a loving energy, and that in itself might be actually protective.
Yeah. That would be really cool if that would be true. So we'll see.
I think so.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this kind of series is about healing, and I think this is a kind of healing that you're expressing now, but I would like to go to the other side now with the darkness, because I remember Simo, he told me many years ago now. What did you say? You said, I need all my darkness. The darkness is all I've got.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
he really means it. And you explained it to me then. Would you like to explain now, if you remember, how you were thinking about it? It has actually shaped my way of looking at darkness.
Yeah. Well, you remember we worked a lot with our dark karma at the time,
Yes.
and so thanks to that type of focus, we got a lot of different aspects of how to different tools and different aspects on how to look upon darkness. Like it wasn't just darkness is as in evil, it was darkness as in forgetfulness, or darkness as in the unconscious mind,
Yeah.
which isn't defined as bad in itself, it's just unconscious.
Yes.
So it was all these different aspects of the unknown, and also the trauma side, the where it hurts, where our fears are or stem from. So we worked a lot with that, and that was our main focus, that type of spiritual work at the time.
Yeah.
So I noticed that when you did go into a dark place, you dealt with a karma or a trauma of sorts, you would get a gift from that. And the gift being you feel a little bit stronger afterwards, a little bit more whole, in the sense of that the emptiness that the emptiness for a little degree had lessened, and there was more substance to the being. So, and that led me to think about darkness as being actually something that hides all the goodies we have, actually. You know,
Yes.
and the theory being that started to now become a real thing, a real experience. The theory being that we actually come from a higher dimension, and when we step down the dimensions to be able to experience a polarity experience, we needed to shed some of our stronger, beautiful sides to be able to become polarized.
Yeah. Weaken ourselves.
Weakens, yeah.
And yeah.
And shatter ourselves.
Yes.
So that was on a theoretical level, but this started to become like how I actually experienced life. That when you pick these pieces up again, you're actually picking yourself back together. But it's scary. The process is scary because you go from being a weakling, you see something that you're drawn to a fear. And in that fear, that's all you have for a moment, because that's where you're drawn. Your path has taken you to that fear. So you cannot escape it anymore, because before that you made a choice, which is I want to heal. I want to be whole again. That intention brings out everything that keeps you from becoming whole.
Yeah.
So the fears start to arise.
Yeah.
And they come in the order they're meant to come.
Yeah.
First, the first thing you have to do then is to deal with what is in front of you, and you cannot jump over these steps. You have to take them in the order they come to you.
Yeah. You're talking about like a descendant down to a polarized place. From where? Where do we start?
I guess we all started from the source.
Yeah.
But let's say we start from like a non-polarized existence.
Yeah.
And then we decide to have this experience. And how do we get there? What I think is the root is you need to somehow shatter yourself to make yourself polarized. And you do it step by step. You have different experiences and lives on higher dimensions first, and then when you become less and less of who you were, you're able to step down even more in the frequencies.
Yeah.
So that route down all these dimensions and to this three-dimensional world is a long route. It's a long route, because this is what I believe, that we are actually really, really, really shiny beings. where we started.
Yes.
So, and that is our essence. So to be able to be on this frequency, we need to really work ourselves down.
Yeah.
And get a lot of sort of weight on ourselves. I see it as us being on the bottom of the ocean, and we have a lot of weight on us. And when we work with the darkness, the weight is loosened one weight at a time, and then you start coming up to the surface by just lessening the weights. So each piece of work you do makes you lighter.
And so you mean that by bringing your darkness back to you again, you can, what do you do with it? Do you would you say you transform it? Would you say how do you mold it? Do you do something with the darkness to let it help you back again to the unity-based maybe situation?
Yeah, exactly. So it's different with different pieces.
Yeah.
If we're just like a classical childhood trauma, then you deal with it as you would with just conventional therapy.
Yeah.
But if it's about something that is out of your own understanding in the life now,
Yeah.
then you might need help, or you just study maybe something, or just being in this meditation where where your soul, your higher soul, helps your soul here in the body to understand. And it can be quite abstract, the things you get, the information you get, but and you don't need to understand everything. You just need to have the will and the intention to heal, and that can be, and then which means that you need to be open for quite odd emotions, because you can get into emotions that are unfamiliar to you in this life.
Yeah.
Like for instance, I had this really odd night where I went into this really odd fear and terror. Actually, I felt terror, and I just wanted to murder.
Should I be
Yes, you should be afraid.
scared?
Yes, it was like I couldn't go outside my home. I just went to my, I just locked myself into my bedroom and I just let all this information come to me. And I noticed that I had many lives where I have been violent.
Okay, so you got information in the middle
Yeah.
of the night.
In the late evening,
Lady, okay.
yeah, I got information about some previous lives or parallel lives or whatever you want to call them,
Yeah.
of me being a murderous person,
Yeah.
even a serial killer or whatever, that type of thing.
Yeah.
You know, having
Yeah.
a lot of blood on my hands. So, and I just had to integrate that, but I didn't want to because I was afraid of becoming that again,
Yes.
that murderer.
If you like
Let
let
that-
it in.
Yes, if I let that darkness come.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a choice because that was all I had. And I just sort of accepted that to be my truth for the moment. And I was like, okay, if this will lead me to prison, then that be it.
That's actually how you felt.
That's
it was
how I
that
felt.
serious.
That's how serious it was.
Yeah.
I thought I was going mad.
Okay.
And then when I let it come in,
Yeah.
it just dissolved after a while. I mean, I was in this terror for maybe a minute or two, and then it dissolved, and I felt so happy. I became so light. And I was just like, I had to go out and sit and meet my friends. I just like talk. I was all this bubbly, and I was like, I never felt so good or for a long time,
Wow.
because it was like something heavy just dropped
Yeah.
off my chest.
So interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, and that was really easy in a way. Like the information was simple
Yeah.
in that case, but it was in a way also the hardest
Yeah.
example, because I could imagine how life could become if I actually let this horror
Yeah.
me
So
take over.
yeah. So this series of videos, they are about healing and healing ourselves so that we can expand ourselves again, expand in consciousness and so on. And that's actually what you are talking about. This is healing on a very high level or very deep level, maybe.
Yeah.
So how would you do you have any advice for those who are watching this, or maybe that yeah.
Well, not advice actually, because I think everybody have their own path. So I wouldn't advise anyone to any specific tool.
No.
You will find your own tools. My advice, if anything, would be to follow your own moment by moment truth, and be open to get the information you need for the moment, and not be too anxious about getting all the details, the information. You just let it come to you and work with whatever you get, like whatever information that will help you forward.
Yeah.
But sometimes it takes a long time, so it's hard. It's not like a quick fix always.
No.
Sometimes it can take months.
You have to live something. You have to live the darkness sometimes in order to understand it.
Yeah.
And I think what you said, to understand, that is actually key.
Yeah.
To understand, because in the understanding you know what to do.
Yeah, and understanding is equal to forgiveness.
Exactly, yeah.
Forgiveness is the key for the release, but you don't have to try to forgive anything. You just have to try to understand.
Exactly.
And understanding doesn't mean that you need to understand all the details, all the background information. You just need to understand the feeling of it, and that feeling gives you the information on why it has happened to some extent. And then you need to be then you make a decision to release it, that you don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
So in that sense, when you take it step by step, this becomes your spiritual path, which is sort of the equal path that you came down from the dimensions. So in this sense, everybody has their own spiritual paths. And the path is basically the reverse of how you came down the dimensions. And your own personal, really difficult, complex way of coming down the dimensions will be your really complex way of going back up. And it will be really illogical sometimes, the routes you've taken or need to go.
Seemingly illogical.
Yeah, seemingly illogical.
Yeah.
It will be illogical in hindsight when you're on the other side of each experience.
Because we live also in forgetfulness. We don't remember how we came here. So now we have to, like, we need to step by step come to a remembrance of.
Yeah, and the remembrance comes from the healing.
Yeah.
But not before. So you go. So you only have the emotion. You have the trauma emotion, like let's say shame. That's what you have.
Yeah.
And shame is a pretty difficult emotion to work with.
Yeah.
Obviously. So on the other side of shame, when you actually dealt with the feeling and what caused it, then you understand. Sometimes, not always, but more often you understand why that happened, why you had brought that experience in.
Yeah.
So you follow your fears, basically.
Follow your fears. Follow the darkness.
Because darkness is all you got.
Exactly, but it makes sense now.
Yeah.
Your explanation of it, and so I would like to thank you for explaining that and sharing with me and the audience. Is there anything you would like to add?
Well, now I work with the joy bit.
Yeah.
That's even more difficult.
Exactly. Yeah, because now you have embraced the joy instead. But it's time, maybe.
Yeah, and that can also be difficult.
Yeah.
There's another aspect of fear in embracing that.
Okay, maybe we will come back to that later.
Yeah.
To see how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will come back next week with a new one, hopefully next week. Okay, bye for now.